Do you guys hear that?
Is that boss music?
Go naked and just go with the sword, and that's it.
What do I do with all this?
It says it in the title.
Of course, it doesn't hurt that you kept winning those games. Hello, and welcome to the Unearthing Games podcast. I'm your host, Nick.
I'm Erica.
And we dig games. So yeah, welcome back. Man.
It's been a very long time.
I know, right? Like, we were talking about it this morning. Like, has it been, 3 to 5 years since we last recorded a thing? I know I could look up the exact date, but...
it's just been a while.
It's been a while, and, life has... There's been a lot of things going on. So, yeah. So we're excited to be back. Anybody that's returning from when we recorded before, I know all of our episodes are going to have re-released kind of thing right before this new one comes out, because we're kind of updating the YouTube formatting and things like that, and testing out new software and stuff. So, but gosh, it's been quite a while.
Yeah, it's been really long. We want to get back into it to make ourselves play games again. That was the whole purpose of doing the podcast to begin with, was we wanted to force ourselves to dig up either new or old games, because we each have hundreds of games in our Steam library that we probably haven't even touched or looked at. So we want to get back to that. And then also for board games, we had a Kickstarter quarter way back when, and all of those have now arrived, and we still haven't played most of those. So.
And we've also bought new games, because there's always something new, something shiny. We had other Kickstarters even outside the Kickstarter quarter because we have a problem.
We had a problem. I haven't Kickstarted a thing since our podcast.
I still have a problem, but my latest obsession has been kickstarting D&D supplementals and things like that. Tabletop role-playing games. It doesn't have to be D&D. But yeah, I keep, supplemental things on that and software and things. So yeah, still kickstarting. Not as many board games. Still waiting on those electronic dice. But I'm excited for when they come. At least they've been good at updating me. But yeah. So, again, everybody, sorry for the long delay. We took a break for a lot of different reasons. The initial reasoning was because doing the podcast at kind of a weekly cadence, is what I think we were doing before, started to feel like a lot. It started to feel like we were playing the games, but we weren't really, getting into them. It was more of we could kind of gloss over it and then kind of briefly talk about, the little bit we've played.
Yeah.
But then we never really got to go in depth. And so...
Yeah, I think one of the ones I can think of is The Long Dark was one of the ones that I played. And I don't think I made it past the tutorial before it was okay, well, now we need to record and talk about it. And it was difficult. And I'm sure it would have gotten better if I had just played it longer.
Yeah. And I think we watched a YouTuber play some of it. And I think you were almost at the end of chapter 1.
Yeah.
Because I think the game released in chapters, and I think the game as a whole has 5 chapters of the story.
Yeah.
And so I think you were at the end of chapter 1 almost. Which, like you said, saying that, you played a fifth of the game.
Yeah.
And so I started to feel like all the games I was playing were kind of a blur, and it was there were so many where it's oh yeah, I'd like to go back to that game and play it more, but I have to play a new game. New week, new podcast, I have to keep moving forward. And so there were all these games where it's it wasn't accomplishing what I kind of was hoping the podcast would do, where we would actually play these new games, not just scratch at them. And it's kind of like you dig up buried treasure, but you just uncover the top of the chest. You don't actually open it and get to see the doubloons inside, or maybe it was poop. So not all the games we played were great, but.
So to get us back into all of this, we thought, since it's been a long time and a lot has changed in our personal lives, we got a new dog, we each got new jobs, we got married, we moved across the country, got new jobs again. And so a lot has changed about us, but also just what we enjoy in a game. And so we thought going back to what our top 5s are, how that's changed, since that's how we kicked since that's how we started this whole podcast off by listing our top 5 games, it'd be good to restart, get back into it with our top 5 games. So I think, Nick, go ahead and start with your top 5 video games.
Top 5 video games. All right. So I'm going to do a kind of a countdown, and I'll kind of reiterate what my old one was and what it's converted to now. So my original top 5, starting at the top. So my 5th one, I put the Halo franchise on my old one.
Yeah.
And I remember that. I talked about it because the Halo franchise had so many good memories for me. Mm-hmm. Growing up, video gaming and all that stuff. Like, I played through like all the ones at the time. But my new one I've changed it to is Minecraft.
Okay.
But specifically, there's like an asterisk on this because it's not just vanilla Minecraft. It has to be modded Minecraft.
Okay.
Because I have this thing, like, maybe I just lack the creativity or something that some people do. But if you put me in an empty sandbox world with no direction, nothing to do, where it's just, oh, go out there and make something, I'm immediately like, so what do you want me to do? You know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just not that creative, at least not just on its own. I will be that way if you give me objectives and it's like, oh, make a base. It's like, okay, cool. And I'll be creative making a base and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So modded Minecraft. I know lately we've been really into the All the Mods mod pack. We've been playing, I think, All the Mods 9.
Yeah.
I think there's 10 versions of it now.
Yes, yeah.
We've been really into that. And I know in the past, you and me got really into Project Ozone.
Project Ozone, yep.
Which was a ton of fun. And I love that they have like the quest books and the progression where, you know, you do one of them and like that kind of helps you lay the groundwork then to do the more advanced one, and then so on and so forth, and it grows. Mm-hmm. So I really enjoy that. I like that, like, we used one of my old gaming PCs to set up like a server for it.
Yeah.
So like you and me are able to log in whenever we have some time and want to play some Minecraft. But I've also expanded it so, like, you know, my brother Jacob can log in whenever he wants to. My niece can get in there. You know, it's kind of the family Minecraft server now.
Yeah.
And I like that, you know. So every so often we can get on there and hang out with them.
Yeah, we generally jump into Discord and chat with them while we're playing. So it's a nice little family gathering on a Saturday night usually.
Yeah. And like my niece, like, she was very much like oh, well, I've played so much vanilla Minecraft, like, I'll be great at this. And it's like, well, hold on, sweetheart, this is a lot different. And so now when we're in there, she's always asking questions about how to set things up and, oh, well, what does this thing do? And teaching her how to use the modded Minecraft has been a lot of fun. So that's my number 5, modded Minecraft. My number 4 on the old list was the Souls franchise, because it was really hard to pick just one. You know, that's another one that formed a lot of my what I like in games. You know, the Souls franchise, Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Elden Ring.
I was going to say, and that's one where Elden Ring has come out since we stopped doing the podcast.
That's right. And I did play a lot of Elden Ring, and I loved it.
Same with Sekiro?
I did play a bunch of Sekiro.
But that was after we stopped talking.
I think it
right?
was, yeah. And I even played a little bit of Bloodborne because I know we got a PlayStation 5.
Yeah. One
of the newer PlayStations.
The 5, yeah.
And we got the digital thing of Bloodborne because you could only play it on PlayStation, and I thought that was really cool too. But Souls franchise is no longer on the list.
No.
I have replaced it with Enter the Gungeon.
Okay.
I don't remember who it was in the past, but talked about being a slut for roguelites. And honestly, I think I really am. Like, I like Enter the Gungeon so much. Like, one, it's adorable. Cute, fantastic art style. 2, it's got that rogueliteness where, yeah, the things you do impact, like, the things you do in one run don't necessarily have big impacts on the other runs. There are some small features that do, like, unlock the big parts of the game.
Right.
That do, like you have to put together the bullet. Like, Enter the Gungeon's whole plot is kind of goofy, where you're like, you play as one of these 4 adventurers who, like, want to get rid of something they did bad in their past. Mm-hmm. You know? So you're looking for the gun that can kill your past, you know?
Okay.
In this mythical dungeon that's based on guns.
Right.
The Gungeon.
Yeah.
So the end game is about any of your runs, you want to start collecting the fragments of the bullet that can kill your past. Because you can't just find the gun. You got to put together the bullet that'll do it.
Do you have to find the gun too? Sorry, we played a little bit of this together, but I'm horrible at it because I can't tell where I am on the screen ever, and so I'm always getting
because it's
hit.
a bullet hell. So there's like so many moving things, and yeah, I could see how you.
But you have to find the gun too. I thought you just had to build the bullet.
Well, you beating the final boss in the fifth chamber, which isn't the real final boss because there's a sixth chamber, but but the final boss is once you beat him, you get to a place that has the gun.
Oh,
So you automatically progress to the gun.
Yeah.
And like the first time you do it, it's like, yeah, you won, and it plays the Enter the Gungeon theme song, which is catchy as all hell. But then when you beat it, it's like, well, wait a minute, you didn't kill your past, and like. In that last level, you can find a blacksmith who's like, "What? You thought the gun worked with just regular bullets? No, you need that. You have to make a bullet that can kill your past." And that's like how the game starts to expand on itself, and there's more and more bits that happen. I love that game so much for the cute art style. It has a fun sense of humor, like the bosses and things like that, like the Gatling Gull and stuff like that's one of the first bosses, and like. It's this bird with like ripped arms, and like later on you get an item that's a ticket to the gun show, and you can summon the bird to fight with you, kind of thing. It's fun,
Yeah.
But all the items you find are random. The map is always randomized. It works fantastic on the Steam Deck, I will say.
Okay.
So it's a really great game to play on the go, and I have played so much of it. I still haven't beaten the Lich, which is like the final boss.
Oh, wow, okay.
Because he's really hard. And I'm not that good at games, or at least I'm getting better. But yeah, so like Enter the Gungeon is fantastic. It's such a cute premise and such a great game. I think it's Dodge Roll Games did a real great job on it. It's a masterpiece.
And there's a sequel too, right? Exit the Gungeon.
I haven't played it yet. It's supposed to be similar, but it's like I think it's supposed to be 2D, where like it's a side scroller, but like you're like on an elevator that's leaving the Gungeon. And you fight off waves of monsters as you're going up, kind of thing.
Okay.
I haven't played it yet though, because it straight up told me like, hey, this isn't optimized for Steam Deck. It's not going to work very well.
Oh, okay.
And so I was like, okay, well, I need to take some time and sit down at the PC and do it. And I just haven't gotten to it yet.
Okay.
Enter the Gungeon, amazing. Exit the Gungeon, interested to try.
Yeah.
So that's number 4. So Enter the Gungeon. Number 3, on my old list, I put Slime Rancher.
Okay. Very adorable.
Cute, adorable game, amazing story. And honestly, it's still Slime Rancher. Like, I kept number 3.
As Slime Rancher.
As Slime Rancher.
Okay.
That's one of those games, I was thinking about it, like, I think about that game.
It is so surprising to me that you removed the Souls franchise altogether, but kept Slime Rancher. Because the Souls games, like, you go back to those pretty often to just play through them again.
Yeah, I do.
And I love watching you play through those. I don't know why, but those ones are really fun to watch you play
You're
through.
like, hey, babe, watch out. And it gets sat on by a demon, like, yeah.
But it's surprising that you removed that one, but kept Slime Rancher.
Like, don't get me wrong. If I had a top 10, I'm sure the Souls franchise would still be in there.
Okay.
But like, I feel like Slime Rancher, it's rented space in my brain that lives there. Thinking about the storytelling mechanic, like how you could kind of uncover the story, but like it wasn't a required piece of it,
Yeah.
And how it was like this awesome love story between Beatrix, the character on the ranch, and the person they left behind when they moved away,
Yeah.
And I thought that was like, it was this really cute, heartfelt story, but then it was like, hidden in this really adorable. Like you've watched me play Slime Rancher. The slimes are adorable. They make cute sounds. And it's like, all right, what am I going to feed them today? And like you feel bad when you're feeding chickens to them and stuff like that. Like it hurts my heart when I feed the chickens to the slime.
So since we've done this too, Slime Rancher 2 has come out, right? At least in beta?
Yeah, the like early access version of it, which I've played.
Okay.
And so far has been really good. I've really enjoyed it. It definitely feels like a really good successor to it.
Right.
The thing I am finding lacking in it so far is just that they're taking their time developing it.
Yeah.
Was it Monomi Park, I believe, is the group?
Yeah.
And like, don't get me wrong, like it's really good. I like it visually. Like if you didn't think Slime Rancher could get any cuter, it gets even cuter in Slime Rancher 2. It's real cute. It captured that same vibe that Slime Rancher had, where you're kind of like this sort of open exploration where the game rewards you for trying to kind of break the barriers, where you're like, oh, can I get over there? Like, okay, let me upgrade my jetpack a little bit and go just a little higher, and there's a box up here. Cool, you know?
Yeah.
And it still captures that same essence.
Okay.
New slimes, new things, but it also scratched that goofy capitalist itch that I have where I'm like,
Yes.
you know, make the products, make the profit. Make the products, make the profit. That's Slime Rancher.
Yeah.
So rent-free in my brain. I think about it a lot, you know? I don't play it that often.
No.
Because I've been waiting for another big update to Slime Rancher 2.
One. Yeah.
And so I know they've had some minor ones, but it's like I want them to get ahead of me a bit. I don't want to just jump back in, play the very first update a whole bunch, and then be like, okay, well, now I want more.
Yeah.
I'll give it some time. I have other games to play, you know? So Slime Rancher, that's number 3. Number 2 previously was Hollow Knight.
Okay.
Still love that game. It would still be in my top 10. It's really great. But my new number 2 is Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay.
I mean, you have to be like living under a rock on the internet to have not heard about Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah. I mean, Larian Studios knocked it out of the park. Mm-hmm. Instant home run. So good. I mean, I talked about D&D before. Like, I really enjoy D&D. My older brother got me into it, you know, and it's been a big thing. Like, I like the role-playing game aesthetic. I think the system that D&D built's great. And Baldur's Gate 3 captures it all. It does such a good job of interpreting the D&D system into a video game system, you know, that it feels almost kind of seamless. You know, like I feel like I'm playing the game. The characters that they made for the game are all so deep and wonderful and interesting characters. Yeah, they're all a bit horny, but like everyone's a little thirsty, which is a bit much. But that's just games, you know? I mean,
yeah. I agree that, so we played through that campaign together, which was a lot of fun. I didn't feel that, well, I mean, I always had Shadowheart following me around. I just didn't feel like her story was really that deep. Okay. Or like there wasn't a lot of growth.
I will say, maybe not all of the characters are the best, or maybe we didn't do a good job of digging into their story. Because the internet seems to love Shadowheart. Like, they think she's great. Everyone's like, oh, I always romance Shadowheart. And I was like, forget that, man. I want to go romance Gale, or I want to go romance, who else is in the party? Not Lizelle. Lizelle scares me. Also, I think she's annoying because she's just so aggressive all the time.
She's very annoying to me.
But apparently the internet loves her, and they love Shadowheart. You know? Friggin', you know, cut off a slice of Astarion, or the roast that is Halsin.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, and then, like I said, but all the characters had a lot of fun backstories and interesting things.
Yeah.
Like I said, maybe not all of them were to my liking, my tastes. Like, I never used Will, so I don't know anything about Will. Something about him just never appealed to me.
I used him a bit at the end for his story arc, that we could finish that.
That story arc was pretty cool. But, like, I never, like, I don't know, I was never just like, oh, yeah, man, I really want to go use him, you know? And
I was still just surprised how I somehow romanced Halsin when we never had him in our party. And then he just, like, one day wanted to talk to me at camp, and it was like, hey, so what's going on? I was like, I've never talked to you.
And you were playing a gnome, and I was like, look at this girl freaking climbing the oak tree that is Halsin. But
that was very interesting.
Halsin might just be a bit of a free spirit, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of a, you know, he's just that kind of guy. But Baldur's Gate 3, it was fantastic. I really liked it. It reinvigorated my love for D&D-based video games.
Okay.
I think it was a lot of fun playing with you, and I want to play it again. I have found that maybe in my old age, I'm getting kind of finicky about doing evil runs.
Yeah, like it just feels weird.
It does, right? Like, I tried to do a Dark Urge. The internet calls them the Dirge. A Dirge run, and as I'm going through it, it's like you just have to purposefully just be like, well, what's the most obnoxious, obscene thing I can do? And that's your evil run. And I'm guessing, like, that's how I used to play, like, Fable and stuff like that, you know, where it was like, oh, be good or evil, and your character changes based on your choices, you know? That's kind of what you have to do, but it's, I don't know, maybe I'm just like, kind of just tired of the evil choices.
Murdering everyone.
Yeah, it gets a little old when, like, to be evil, the main choice is just murder.
Yeah.
That's the main choice, you know? Maybe I'm not being as nuanced as I could be, You know, like the internet.
Yeah.
The internet. I'm sure there's a lot more options for being wicked and nefarious, but murder always just kind of floats to the top, where it's like, well, that's just easy.
Yeah.
So Baldur's Gate 2, or not 2, Baldur's Gate 3.
3.
I have played 2, really good. But
Okay.
Baldur's Gate 3 is what we're
3.
talking about today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, Hollow Knight still fantastic. Definitely still be in my top 10. But and then for number 1, last time I had RimWorld.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic game. Sunk, I think, like 1,000 hours into that thing. It's so good. But it's not RimWorld anymore. It is now Slay the Spire.
Okay. You've played that a lot.
So
too.
much. I've played it on the Xbox. I've played it on the Steam Deck. I've played it on my PC. Like, it's so good. I would say I'm still not good at it.
Yeah.
But I love the rogueliteness, the kind of the story, the building the good deck, the getting to the top. Like when you get a good synergy going, there's just something that feels good when everything's working.
Yeah.
And your deck's like a well-oiled machine and you're like, bam, bam, bam. Until you hit that stupid timekeeper guy that like, there's one of the final bosses, I think he's called like the Timekeeper or the Time Eater, where after you play like 5 cards, he ends your turn. He's like, nope, you have to stop now. I hate that guy.
That's really bad too when you have like the Shiv deck, right?
Yeah.
Where your Shivs are 0 cost, so you can play a whole bunch of those.
Yep, and I feel like he always shows up on my Shiv runs. Maybe that's just how the game's built. I haven't really done a lot of research on like the meta for the game.
Yeah.
You know, where people like research strats and stuff for it.
Yeah, it's kind of better to not though. That way you just find it on your own.
Yeah.
I feel like at least.
Yeah, I think I'm not that kind of gamer. Like I'm not really like a min-max player where I'm just like, oh yeah, like I want to go look up like the optimum Stardew Valley build so that like I can have 1 million gold within the end of the first month. It's like, maybe I just want to feed my chickens and grow some turnips, you know?
Yeah.
I don't need the optimized build to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I've for that one, when you beat the game so many times, like you get to see where you can unlock ascension levels where like it's like challenge mode. Every ascension level makes the runs a little harder, a little more difficult. And I think I've gotten to like ascension level like 7.
Okay.
And I know that's low.
Yeah.
Because like again, I'm not good at games. I just enjoy them.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. You know, it has some interesting lore to it and stuff that kind of makes you think about it. And I know there's a sequel to it coming.
Oh, is there? I didn't know
It
that.
might already be out or in early access, but I know there is a Slay the Spire 2 coming.
Okay. Because that one doesn't really have like a you win, right? Because once you beat the final boss at the end of the 3, because it's 3 rounds, right?
Yeah, three levels.
You go to the heart of the tower.
Yeah.
And you just deal your total damage that you dealt this run to it, and that's it. Like,
yeah,
there's nothing else, right?
Yeah, there's not really a you won.
Yeah.
Like there is a victory condition for each of them where it's kind of like if you do it right, you can beat the heart kind of thing.
Can you actually beat the heart?
I did it once.
Oh, I didn't know you could do that.
It's very hard.
Okay.
Like I said, I did it once.
Yeah.
And that had like kind of like a victory cutscene, which was cool.
Oh, okay.
But like you said, most of the time it's like you get there to the end and it's like, okay, well, congratulations, you're asleep. We'll see you back at the bottom.
Yeah.
And you start over again.
Right.
And that's...
Okay. I didn't know that there was another option after the heart, because it always seemed like you would just get to the heart, deal the damage, and then that's it.
Yeah, I could be wrong. I think you unlock the ascension levels by getting to the heart.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you don't have to beat it, but you have to get to it.
Yeah.
To unlock the next ascension level kind of thing. You know?
Okay. With the 3 pieces.
Yes, you have to gather 3 pieces that you have to get throughout your run.
Yeah,
so,
like by skipping a rest.
Skip a rest, skip a loot, and then fight a hard elite. Like a supercharged elite.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a lot of fun. Like I said, I really enjoy that game. I've always we've had it for a long time.
Yeah, you've had that game for a very long time.
I don't know if that's kind of telling that like changing these is kind of like maybe I don't have the time or the patience for big overarching games anymore or something. I'm thinking about like the Halo franchise and like the Soul stuff and all that, like big stories and big open explorations and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I don't have the patience for it anymore, is what I think is kind of telling from my list.
I don't know, though. I feel like you still enjoy a good story. Because, I mean, somewhat recently, we went back and you went through all the Dead Space games again.
That's true. You and me.
From the beginning, like from 1 through 3.
Yeah.
In order. And so I think you still enjoy the story. I think with like Halo, there hasn't really been a new one in a while.
Yeah, and I know I still haven't played whatever the newest one was. I don't know if it's Halo 5 or Halo what. I know that it came out and I was just like their last like 2 attempts had just been so like floundered so badly where I was like, where is this story even going?
Yeah.
That I think that's kind of what made me lose it, was like 1 through 4, I think it was, all had this really great cohesive story that was all going, where Master Chief has to finish the fight,
Mm-hmm.
And it was really great, and I loved it,
Yeah.
And then they even had the spin-offs like ODST and Fall of Reach and stuff like that. Those were so good, and they fit really well into like the arc.
Yeah.
But then whatever, like they did like a generational jump. I think it was after 3. I think Halo 4 where they had the Infinity and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of fell flat for me. And I was like, this is cool and all, and I get that you're trying to introduce a new bad guy, but like it's just not the same.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah.
And I mean, the Souls, like you still enjoy those games because when Elden Ring came out,
Oh yeah,
you played that.
I love
months.
Elden Ring. I still haven't gotten the DLC for it, but I love Elden Ring. It was great. Open world Dark Souls. You get a fun horse. You ride around and look for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You avoid the giant bears because no matter how good you are at the game, the bear seems to curb stomp you.
Yeah. Yeah, but for me, watching you play those games is still my favorite. I don't know why.
I'm glad you like them. I mean, I can still enjoy playing them, and I do want to go get the Elden Ring DLC.
Yeah.
Shadow of the Erd Tree or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thinking about it, like I said, I think that's just... I think it's more about being kind of very intentional in how I'm spending my game time.
Yeah.
And I just have to decide, like, do I want my, like, 30 minutes of fun that I have right now doing a Slay the Spire run, or do I want to sit down and maybe accomplish one dungeon in Elden Ring kind of thing,
Yeah.
So it's kind of just deciding. And so, like, I do still enjoy those games, and I'll definitely keep playing them. It's just, I don't think that they live at the top of my mind anymore when it comes to my games. So, yeah. So, now that we've listened to me ramble on for forever and a day, what have you got? What's your top 5 for video?
All right. So top 5 video games. At number 5, I had Nancy Drew Train to Blue Moon Canyon. I think I said it more as the Nancy Drew series, but if I had to pick one specifically, it would be the Train to Blue Moon Canyon.
Yeah, you do love those Nancy Drew games.
Nancy Drew is still on my list, but not number 5. So number 5, I have Don't Starve Together, which was also on my list previously, but has moved down. Don't Starve Together has always been one of my favorites just because it's a lot of fun to play. It's difficult. We spent so many times like starting a run and then we would make it through winter, but miraculously somehow, and then die in the summer. And it's just like the preparation to get through each of the seasons is always a lot of fun. It's very hard. And I think we kind of had a good method going to get through winter. And then this spring with the raining frogs came up and we're just like, we have no idea what's going on. And so it was like trying to find a new way to survive through each of the seasons.
Yeah.
So that was always a lot of fun for me. I think I love the art style. I think it's adorable, the little sounds that all the characters make and stuff. And it's just a lot of fun. This like survival craft game.
I love that all of their voices, like if you have them talk, it's instruments, right? So
yes.
like it'll be like trumpet going or clarinet or something.
Yeah. I love that game so much. And we haven't played it in a very long time, but I still really, really enjoy that game. And I say together too, because Don't Starve on its own is just too stressful for me. I'd rather share that burden with someone else than play it on my own. But even now talking about it, I was like, I should start like a Don't Starve run and just see. Because at least back when we played Don't Starve together, I don't think there was like an ending to it.
I think there is now.
I think there is now. I think there's an actual like, if you do certain things and you go to, the dark or whatever, then you can get out or something. But when we played, that wasn't around. So it'd be cool to go back and play that one again.
I'd be down to try. It was always very difficult, like you said, and that was always the thing. But maybe we're better now. Maybe we're different now.
Please, we would be even worse because we don't know what all the new metas are.
We'll figure it out.
All right. Number 4. On my old list, I had City Skylines.
Yeah.
That's no longer on my list.
Okay.
So number 4 is now Played Up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when I was thinking about my favorite games, I wanted to think about games that I could lose track of time playing. And Played Up is definitely that. It's like just one more day. Just one more day. Like we can get through one more day. And also, I've never played that one solo. So that's also you and me playing together.
Yeah.
I think I really prefer co-op games versus solo games for the most part.
Okay.
And so in Played Up, right, you're running a kitchen and you're making the food and serving it to the customer. So we generally split that. Like one's making food, one's serving food. And I think it just works really well that way. And I like that it's randomized what kind of upgrades you get, what kind of food you get, what kind of sides or desserts or starters or, all the things.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed that one because, like, I know it checked all the boxes that Overcooked did for you, with a lot less of the puzzle stress that Overcooked gave me. Because for some reason, I don't know why Overcooked stressed me out. I don't know why. It's a fun game, cute art style. Definitely enjoyed playing it with you.
Yeah.
But Played Up was like that, but...
Well, and so I enjoyed that it was actually a game that you would play with me since you stopped wanting to play Overcooked.
I didn't want to play Overcooked. It was just too much.
But that was still the best experience when my sister and my parents were over and you, me, and her were playing Overcooked and my mom was just in the background crying, laughing because we're yelling at each other. Pick up the onion, chop it. Like, what are you doing?
Throw me the burrito.
Yeah. So, still a really great game.
Yeah.
So then number 3 on my list was FTL. FTL was one of the first like indie games I really played. And so I think that one always kind of held a special place in my heart. And it's not on my list anymore. So at number 3, I have RimWorld now. RimWorld is also one of those ones where I can just lose track of time. And that one is a solo game.
Yep.
And so that's one where it's like, oh, well, I just need to build this thing, or they need to build a wall here, or a defense here, or, just anything. Grow these crops, or, oh no, there's a nuclear fallout or whatever. And it's just like, there's always something going on to make you want to keep playing.
Yeah. I know that's something that like the developer has always been like quoted online where he's like, it's not a management game, it's a storytelling game kind of thing. And that's like his thing. Which I get that, because like I always feel like whenever you come out of a RimWorld run, you do have a good story where it's like, man, let me tell you about this time that a pack of man-eating Yorkies came and decimated my colony,
I still will never play like a hardcore run though, because I get too attached to my people and I can't let them die.
You have to save scum.
I will save scum so that my people don't die, because I can't stand letting them die.
Yeah.
I just can't. And that's also one where I can't play an evil run.
I tried doing like a slave trapper group and all that stuff, and it felt icky.
Yeah.
It just felt bad.
That's also one though I never picked up the DLC for, and I never played with like the different like religions and stuff like that. I never did any of that.
I think those are fun. I have 2 of them. I've got royalty and I don't remember what the religion one is, but the religion one, like theocracy or something.
Yeah.
I have those 2, and they're cool. They just add more stuff. It just, if you want more craziness, either more things to handicap you or more goofy things for your people to do. Like I did a religion of underground mole people, where they loved to live in caves and eat mushrooms, and they didn't like being outside. They wanted to be underground. So they were always digging, and but that had its own can of worms, because when you're underground more often you get more bugs and things like that. And so I also tried to do like the tree hugger group where they got upset if you cut down trees. Again,
really hard if you're trying to build buildings.
Another whole can of worms. Yeah, it's a thing. And then royalties just got a whole, like you can do something where you like interact with like the Stellar Empire and stuff. That can be like a way to escape. Like you like rank up in the Stellar Empire and the Emperor will send a shuttle for you.
Oh, okay, to escape. I have never escaped.
I did it once with modded.
Well, and the reason I could never escape is because when it gets to the end, if you build the ship to get off, then you start getting raided, like just waves and waves of raids, and inevitably someone would die, and I'd have to reload my save. So I never could get off. And because I also like would end up having like dogs or something, and it's like, well, I have to take my animals too, and it's just not possible.
Yep.
You just have to leave someone behind at some point. I can't get myself to do that. All right, so then number 2 on my former list was Don't Starve Together, so that's dropped to number 5. Number 2 now is the Nancy Drew games. So all of the Nancy Drew franchise, I think it's Her Interactive that makes those.
Yeah.
I was so happy to see when they were on Steam, because when I played through those, it was on actual discs. And so those have long since been lost, and I was really upset that I'd have to like either find those again, or I didn't know how to buy the Nancy Drew games again. They did have them on the Her Interactive site, which was nice, but then I saw that they were on Steam, and during one of the Steam sales, I was like, well, I'm buying every single one of these games.
And I think you did.
And I think I did at the time. I think there have been additional ones that have released since then. And so then I also started going back to the beginning and playing the games in order from the beginning all the way through.
Okay.
And so that's been a lot of fun. They're just fun. And that was like the first computer game that my sister and I played where we had to like run away from the screen because we were scared of something, right? Like,
well, because eventually someone's always trying to kill
someone's
Nancy.
always trying to kill Nancy because they're trying to get away with some crime. And it's just like, oh my God, what's happening? Like, and it was like, I think it was like the smallest thing. Like, we were walking around an old castle and we walked down a hallway and suddenly there was like tapping behind a wall when nothing had ever happened there before. And we just freaked out and ran. Like, what was that? It's a ghost. I have no, it's just someone behind the wall. And we didn't know that at the time, but it scared us to the point where like we stopped playing. And we had to come back like weeks later to be like, okay, you do it. And we like click it with our eyes like half closed, trying to like walk through the castle. So those ones will always have a special place in my heart. And I'm glad that they still are making them because it's a lot of fun. The puzzles between the games do get a bit repetitive. Like, it's the same types of puzzles, but it's always fun. Yeah. I love those games so much.
You're a lot braver now. So now you can get through a lot more of the scary parts.
No, I still jump out of my seat whenever it's like, oh, they're after me, and because there's always
when you have to do the runaway sequence where you're clicking on the screen, like
all
click,
of them,
click, click,
yes.
click, click, and then it's like, oh, remember, if you don't click jump over this hole, Nancy dies.
Yeah,
and it's like,
or
okay.
it's like, here, solve this puzzle that took you a long time to figure out before, but quickly, because if you don't do it quickly, you're gonna die. And it's like, okay, well, that's great. But those for sure are my number 2. I will play those all the time.
I will say, in our absence, you've always gone back to keep working on running through all of those games. Like, your goal is to play them all.
Yeah.
And you're getting there.
Well, and my goal too, I think at one point, was to do like video playthroughs of them, because I would like be playing through the game and be stuck on a puzzle. And what's really great is Her Interactive has message boards for each of the games with like where people go and ask for help. Yeah. And so I'll generally go there. But it's also sometimes like, I want to see like a video playthrough of this game, especially when I didn't own them and I didn't know how to buy them. I just wanted to see what the game looked like.
Yeah.
And so I always thought like, oh, I'll do video playthroughs of these games. And instead I'm just playing through them on my own, right? But
well, maybe that's something we can work on together, you know?
All right. And then number 1 on my list before was RimWorld. So that's moved down a few spots. And number 1 on my current list is Overcooked. Because it's such a fun game, like we talked about with Played Up. Like, to me, that one and the clock and the timer and the get the food out, people are waiting, like that one is more fun than Played Up because of the extra like pressure.
Okay.
Played Up is fine, and there is like their own little clocks on like if you don't give them their food fast enough, they get upset, or if you don't take their order fast enough, they'll leave and stuff. But it's not at the same level as Overcooked.
Okay, I could see that. Like, it definitely feels like Played Up is more of a fun kind of roguelite challenge where it's more of just like you're trying to overcome the day.
Yeah.
Where Overcooked felt more like it was like a challenge. You're trying to beat the challenge, beat the puzzle kind of thing.
Yeah,
you know?
and like you said, I think maybe the puzzle aspect too, where it's like, oh, well, especially I'm thinking of like the lava level, right? Where there's like the little floating islands going around the center and you have to cook on the islands that go
your
away
burner
from
is
you.
on a little island that's floating around. It's like, no, my steak, come back.
Yeah, it's gonna burn, like, because your food will catch fire, and then the whole thing catches fire, which is the same in Plate Up, right? Like, the things catch fire, and you have to put it out, but it just feels more stressful and overcooked, and I kind of like it better that way.
I think I just need to get better at mitigating my own stress.
Yeah,
because you're right. It was a lot of fun when we played with your sister, and like your mom's laughing and she's commenting like, "Oh, well, why didn't you go over there?" And it's like, well, I didn't even see over there.
Yeah,
you know. And then like that time we played with your sister and her husband.
Yeah,
and like me and you and your sister are all yelling at each other.
No, you and my sister were yelling at each other, and me and my brother-in-law were just sitting there quietly doing our job.
No, you were part of it too, and he was sitting quietly, just chop the steak on the plate, chop the steak on the plate, and he was just doing his job, just bam. Bam. He wasn't yelling, wasn't stressing out. He just did his thing.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
But he's a lot more of a he's a gamer, you know.
He is a gamer.
We enjoy games. He's a gamer.
Yeah.
You know? So.
But yeah, so that would be my video game listing, and Overcooked is definitely at the top.
You do bring it up a lot. We definitely need to go back to it.
Yes.
And you need to actually suggest it instead of just being like, well, Nick didn't suggest we play Overcooked, so clearly he doesn't want to play it with me.
Well, I don't suggest it because anytime I did, someone would say, I don't want to play that game.
Well, I promise to be more open now. I'll give you like a coupon book. What about that? Book. You can redeem a Overcooked playthrough coupon kind of thing. You know?
Mm-hmm.
No complaints, no questions asked. Nick will play Overcooked coupon. You know.
Yeah.
I'll get you that for like our anniversary or something. You know. So that was your top 5, your new top 5 video games.
Yes.
Why don't you go ahead and kick off the board games too?
All right. So board or tabletop?
Let's call them tabletop.
I was gonna say because I think some of
Yeah.
them are card-based games.
Yeah,
Would be like
I was like, I know
tabletop.
board game's kind of a catch-all term, but I think you're right. It should be tabletop games because it's games that we're playing on a table. You know, I guess table's optional too. But
Table is optional. All right, so my number 5 previously was Solitaire.
Yeah, you used to play that a lot, actually.
Well, and it was always something that, like, growing up when my sister didn't want to play a game with me, I could just play Solitaire, you know, and it's just an easy thing to just play through. So then now number 5 on my list is Parks.
Parks is so good.
Parks is a lot of fun. So it's all themed around the national parks. And I know that they just announced recently that a new version of the game is coming out.
Like a 3rd edition kind of thing.
Second edition, because it was 52 parks before. Now it's 53 because there are 53 U.S. national parks.
Are they going to do new artwork and stuff?
Yes, new artwork and everything.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. The old artwork,
really pretty.
Exquisite. Like, I remember, did you kickstart that one? Or you... Because you got like the premium postcards and things like that that had some of the artwork and stuff.
Yes, thinking back, yes, I did kickstart it, and then that's how I also got Parks Memories, which is like a memory game,
which we haven't played. Or I haven't.
I played it by myself once. Yeah, because it's one to however many players. But yeah.
Okay. Parks.
Yeah. So
what was your old one? It was
Solitaire.
That's right. Okay.
A loner game versus like a game you play with people also.
Yeah. And I mean, and I think Parks was really cool. Like that also fostered like we've actually gone to some of the national parks. And I don't want to say it's because of Parks, but I think we did take the park cards with us.
Yes, and we took pictures
so
at each of the parks.
We have photos of us at like the Grand Canyon with the Grand Canyon card.
Yeah.
And like that was really cool. And I would love to I want to go to the other national parks now. Well,
and I think that game kind of spurred me to be like, well, that's going to be a bucket list kind of thing. Like, I want to see all of the national parks.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I really enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. Just like, and then so they also have trails because I'm thinking like it's a lot of fun where you're just like hiking through the parks, but that's Trails.
Yeah.
Trails is their second game, I believe.
Which is cool.
But I enjoy Parks the most.
Okay.
So then number 4, I had Sushi Go.
Such a good game.
No longer on the list. It is a lot of fun. It's a great like party game.
Yeah, it is.
And my number 4 now is Gods Love Dinosaurs.
Oh my god, that game is so adorable.
It is adorable. I love the game. You're building like a little world for your dinosaurs. Right?
Well, like your goal is to get dinosaurs.
Yeah.
But you're building a little world and you're trying to get
You're populating it with animals.
The animals that your dinosaurs are going to eat.
Yeah.
So like, because you need to get like a good level of like, I'm trying to remember what all the animals are. There's like rabbits and rats, and then you can get like, I think like wolves and hawks and stuff.
Yeah.
And whatever you lay down, it's like you're building tiles.
It's
right?
a hex-based like world building kind of game.
Yeah, and we're each building our own individual world.
Yeah.
They're not connected.
Yeah. Yeah, so that one's a lot of fun. The pieces are so cute. The art is adorable. The premise is adorable.
Yeah, because like the final scoring is based on like how many dinosaur eggs you have, and then how many hatched dinosaurs you have, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And like, because like when your dinosaur hatches, like they can die if you don't have enough like predators for them to eat. Like, because they eat like wolves and hawks, I think, and then like the wolves and hawks have to eat rabbits and rats and stuff.
Yeah. The dinosaurs won't eat the rabbits and rats.
Yeah, but they'll eat the wolves and the hawks kind of thing. And so.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun, and I think that one of the reasons I like it too is because the players determine the pace of the game.
Yes.
It's not a set number of rounds like a lot of games are, where it's like, everyone gets 3 turns per round and there's 6 rounds in the game. It's once a specific set of tiles has been taken, that round is over. Yeah. There could be a whole bunch of tiles left on the board, but if those tiles are taken, then that's it. It's over.
Yeah.
And so I think I enjoyed that a lot too, where the players control the pace of the game.
Yeah.
Especially like if you're ahead and it's like, well, if I end the game now, then I win, rather than letting this drag on and have someone else maybe come from behind.
True. I could see I could see the benefits of that, or the pros of it. It's kind of the player determined pace.
Yeah, I think I like that better than, like I said, like a 3 turns per round, 6 rounds in a game type of thing.
Okay.
All right. And then number 3, I had Chameleon, which is no longer on the list. That was a lot of fun.
A good party game.
A good party game, again, like a social deduction, who's the chameleon kind of thing. I think after a while, if you're playing with the same group, people start picking on other people because they just are really good at lying. So then it's like, oh, well, you have to be the one that's lying.
Well, and then like you said, like playing with the same group, everyone starts to figure out everyone's tells and stuff. So it's like, oh, well, so and so did a thing. They're lying.
It's good for a few rounds, definitely. But now my number 3 is Patchwork.
That was really cute.
I just think it's a cute little game. Again, it's just like taking pieces, trying to fill up your board. It's a 2-player. So I think I enjoy that about it too, since usually it's just you and I that are playing games together. And it's just cute. I'm very crafty. I think we've talked about this before. I love to knit and sew and everything like that. So
anytime I have to describe you to somebody, I describe my wife as an avid craftswoman. And I was like, if you name it, she has probably made it at least once.
Yeah. So I just really like that one. And it's just super cute. I think we have the Americana version of it.
Which, I'm not going to lie, isn't as cute as the original edition.
Yeah, I agree 100%. But I did order buttons that look like the buttons in the game. That way I could make like little stacks of buttons when we're playing. Because I think it's just cute to have like a physical thing instead of like little cardboard buttons.
Little tokens, yeah.
So I think it's a lot of fun. That's one that, if it's just us two and it's like, oh, you want to play quick game, I would pick Patchwork.
Yeah, Patchwork is a lot of fun. I really enjoyed every time we've played it. It's been a good time.
And it's small, so like travel wise, like if you wanted to take it on a trip or something, I think it'd be easy to pack.
Yeah.
All right, number 2, I had Captain Sonar, which I think was renamed to just Sonar.
I think it was.
Which is a lot of fun. That's like a team-on-team game where you're trying to pilot ships and basically battleship, but with more
it's a submarine
things.
battle. We're like, it was a lot of fun.
And so I was always the navigator person because no one else was really great.
Do you remember the time I tried and I got us lost?
Yes,
I got us lost.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. But it was also super stressful as the navigator because I'd be like, they have to either be here or they're over here. And it's like, well, which one is it? And it's like, oh my God, I don't know. It was a lot of stress. But that's also probably my competitiveness where it's like, I need to win.
So competitive.
And so my number 2 is now Sagrada.
Oh, okay.
Sagrada has been one of my favorites for a while. It's just really pretty. It's really calming. I like the dice taking mechanic where it's like like a snake draft, right? Where it's like 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, so that like the first player doesn't get an advantage and the last player doesn't lose advantage.
Yeah.
And it's just pretty. I love all the colored dice.
It's such a beautiful game.
Yeah.
I think it's had some expansions and all that stuff. I don't know if it's had like a sequel or anything like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look it up because I know like Azul is another one that's really pretty and the little tiles are adorable.
Yeah.
But Sagrada to me has always been like one of the first ones we played like that because we played Azul after the fact. And I just think Sagrada, like we even got like a little dice tower so that we could play Sagrada
more. Yeah.
And it's just fun. The dice are pretty. The little patterns are cute. And then it's like color and number based. Like we played it when your niece was younger and it was like easy for even younger kids to understand.
Because it's just color and number association. So even she could wrap her head around how to do it. And
and she's a lot older now. But
she's older now, yeah.
I remember playing it with her when she was a lot younger and it was easy to pick up.
Yeah.
So
it's a really good game.
I think that's a lot of fun. And we did get the 5 to 6 player expansion, which adds in a few tools, I think.
It adds some tools and it adds some more colors. That way, or not colors, more player palettes or anything.
More player palettes for sure.
Because
But yeah, that one's a lot of fun. It's just really pretty. Yeah, I've always enjoyed it.
Sagrada is fantastic. I'll say.
And I think we talked about it on the podcast before.
Yeah.
Okay. And then number 1 tabletop game was Dragoon. That was one that it was the first time we went to PAX South.
Yep.
We checked out of the board game library. We checked out Dragoon, and it was like, oh, this is a lot of fun. It's cute. The board was cloth, which was fun. The pieces were metal,
which was cool,
which was really awesome. And so that one was like, again, held like a special place in my heart, where it was like, this is one of the first games we found by going to a board game convention or a game convention. But now my number 1 is Knitting the card game.
Of course
it has to be.
It has to be.
So Knitting the card game is the best game that depicts what it's like to knit a project in my mind. And the cards are pretty because they're all actual photos of yarn that people sold, like indie dyers sold. And so the yarn was really pretty. It's about collecting colors to make the pattern that you're working on. And it's just like, oh, well, a sweater takes 6 weeks to knit. So you cast it on, you put it on your little project board, and each turn you move your little counter up a week.
And it's like time you've been working on your project.
Yeah, and it's just cute. The cards are so pretty. And there's another game, Arch Ravels,
which is a similar
vibe, but not as clean. I think Knitting the card game is just clean. It's done well. It's really pretty, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, like as a non-knitter, I will say I really enjoy Knitting the card game.
Yeah,
it is a lot of fun. The cards are beautiful, and I think the artwork all depicts yarn from what's the website that like you store all your patterns on and things like that.
Oh, Ravelry.
Is it all from Ravelry?
The yarn,
the artwork. Yeah, the pictures of yarn.
I mean, the yarn is from the dyers. Like it says
what dyer makes that.
What dyer makes it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the colors, the yarn all looks beautiful. The pictures, because it's all pictures of real hand-dyed yarn.
Yes, and it's so pretty.
It looks great. And it's another one where it's kind of that that taking sort of game where it's like, okay, well, yeah, we all take some patterns and stuff like that, but the real competition is the yarn store.
Yes.
Because it's like, okay, well, right now they've only got 2 skeins of green. Do I wait for there to be more skeins of green? Because like you can take a whole stack of a color.
Yeah.
Or do I take the 2 green now and just hope that more green shows up? Because if I don't take those 2 green now, Erica might take those 2 green.
Yeah.
And I need those for this special, like, earth colored hat I'm making, kind of thing.
It's great. And I love that too, that like the amount of yarn that you need is different based on the project. Yeah. If it's a pair of socks, you need like 2 colors because there's 2 colors in the socks.
Yeah.
And if it's, a sweater, it could be 2 colors, but you need like 6 balls of yarn.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I just love it. It's a lot of fun. I love knitting. And so when I saw that one was a Kickstarter, but I didn't get in the Kickstarter.
But you got it in like the second round that they did it. Like when they released it.
Which was good because then we were looking it up recently because we lent my copy to Jacob and they don't make the game anymore. Really
upsetting. I know. I texted him and was like, yo, bro, we're going to need our copy back.
Because
Thanks.
at first I was like, oh, it's fine. Like, they can keep it because Zoe knits. And I was like, it's a cool game. Like, they can keep it. I'll just get another one.
But not anymore. No,
but no, like,
we need it back.
We need it back. They don't make it anymore.
That's a limited edition now.
But I also saw, when I was looking it up on Board Game Geek earlier today, that there was a booster pack that came out in 2021. And I'm like, I bet that gave you more different colors of yarn, like more yarn cards. And it's upsetting that I didn't know that happened.
Well, we'll have to look on the board game market and see if someone sells the booster. Yeah. Very cool list. I think that's a really cool changes, you know?
Yeah. There's definitely a lot more changes, I feel, on my board games than on my video games.
I mean, I think you had changes on both, but I guess you're right. There was more news and less shuffles.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because my board games, none of my top 5 are on my list currently.
Okay.
So that one was a complete redo versus my video games, they just shuffled around a bit. There were a few new ones.
Yeah.
But mostly it was
kind
just
of like
shuffling.
shifted the old ones down a little and put some new ones in.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I guess I'll go ahead and start with my list. Really love the ones you picked, by the way.
Thank you.
So number 5 on my old list was Catan, Settlers of Catan, you know.
Yeah.
Which I still love that game. That's one of the first, like, calling it an indie board game feels kind of weird. But that was one of the first
non-Hasbro.
Yeah, that was one of the first non-Hasbro board games I ever got into. It was really good, and it's still really good to this day.
Yeah.
You and Phil get way too competitive in it. For some reason, Philip always feels like you're out to slide him.
He's always out to make sure that I don't win. And then
to his own detriment.
Yeah. I win anyway.
But
so.
I still love Catan. But I am replacing it, number 5, with Ticket to Ride.
Okay, similar feel.
I think it's...
At least in our family group.
So I went from a Euro game to I think Ticket to Ride's Ameritrash, right? I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't understand the Euro game, Ameritrash, or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. But Ticket to Ride. It's another one that we played a bunch of it with my family. We played it with your family.
Yeah.
Like your sister and her husband both really enjoy it.
Yeah, they love that game.
But playing with my family, like my niece was able to play. My dad played.
Yes.
Like we've all played it a bunch, and it's a lot of fun. And it's got some spots where you can be a jerk and block the other player, but like...
It's a lot more interesting with more players. Like when we played it with your family, I think there were like 5 or 6.
We had almost a full
max
roster.
Number.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
It gets hectic.
It was a lot harder, especially to do the longer routes.
Yeah. So Ticket to Ride is fantastic. Something about train-based games. You know, I've got some newer ones that I'm excited to try out, you know?
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about on future podcast episodes.
So many games we need to play, guys.
I know, it's a lot. But my previous number 4 was Dragoon. Again, we talked about it. You know, I loved Dragoon, the metal pieces, the aesthetic, you know, being like, I'm a big angry dragon. Pay me tribute.
I love
What's not to love about it? I still love it.
It's still a lot of fun.
Still love it.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law still like, I don't know if she ever got one with the metal pieces. Maybe I'll have to get that for her, like for her anniversary one year or something. You know, like when her and Phil's anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
Like, here's y'all's gift. It's for Chris.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you did that with Wormspan.
That's true. I got that. It was
birthday.
a joint birthday thing for her and her daughter. They both love dragons.
Yeah.
So it was Dragoon. I have replaced it with Wingspan.
Okay.
Wingspan was a lot of fun. That was one of those ones that I don't remember where we first saw it, but
ooh, yeah,
it's just kind of a neat, like the play style of it. I think is a lot of fun, where you're trying to attract all these birds to your bird sanctuary. You know.
Yeah.
And I just, there's just something fun about it where like you have the
Is it a bird sanctuary? I thought it's just like bird watching. I don't know, but the birds are cute.
Well, whatever it is, I don't remember like what the actual premise is, but basically you want more birds on your board than everyone else.
Yeah.
Basically.
Collect the most birds.
But like, and yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. And it had so many, like, I'm not crazy about game expansions, but it had so many expansions because there's so many birds in the world. So it's like, if you're a bird person, like if you're a, whatever bird watchers are called, I don't know.
Ornithologist?
Those.
Right?
I think so.
Okay.
But if you're a bird person, you know, it's like if you have a specific like hemisphere that you like for birds and stuff like that, you can get an expansion and make sure you get the birds you like, you know?
So then just bringing up Wormspan, would you get the other versions of, because there's Wormspan and now there's going to be Finspan. There you go.
I don't know. Maybe. Like, I know you and I had talked about it. I feel a little bad that I didn't order a copy of Wormspan for myself.
Yeah.
I know at the time we were moving, money was tight, and so it was kind of like, well, to kind of really justify dropping $50 to $80 on a game that's basically a game we already have.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think I would. I would, because it's not an expansion, it's a change, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, what theme are you feeling like today? Do you want dragons? Do you want fish?
Well,
Do you want birds?
It is different because
there are different mechanics,
well,
right?
I did hear that Thin Span is supposed to be a cleaner version of Wingspan.
Okay.
Like the mechanics do change.
So then, yeah. So I'll probably at some point, maybe if I get a bonus or something like that, be like, okay, well, I know we've earmarked most of this for something, but could I take like $50 and buy a board game?
Well, and there's also, so outside of the actual Span games, which I don't understand why they kept Span, because Wingspan is a measurement on a bird, right? Like their wingspan.
Yeah.
I don't get fin span, but that's just me, unless that's an actual measurement for fish.
I don't know anything about fish.
But Dog Park is along the same lines.
Dog Park was really cool.
We got. I
Yeah.
kickstarted that one because I was like, it's basically Wingspan, but
we
for
haven't
dogs.
played it yet. We need to play it.
Yeah, and then Planted.
Same vibe.
We played recently,
plants.
but it's plants. Yeah, so I think I like that kind of game.
That sort of concept.
I like that. I like what
building.
they started.
Yeah.
Like the fact that it's like, here's the bird, but not only just here's a bird, but where does it live and where's it? You know, what are its habits?
I liked
and
that
stuff,
all of the
which I
cards
think is
had
cool.
like where it's from and like a little bit about the bird on the cards. I thought was cool. So
Yeah.
kind of like Parks, you learn something.
Yeah.
And maybe it draws you into another hobby. You
Yeah.
know, into another interest.
Are you gonna become a bird watcher?
Maybe. Probably not.
Probably
Probably
not.
not, but I could.
Yeah.
So Wingspan's my number 4. Number 3, I previously had Battlestar Galactica. Now that's the social deduction
Okay.
based on the snap. It's so old now. The TV series, Battlestar Galactica, where there are Cylons hidden amongst us and things like that, and like the players have to flush out who is the Cylon trying to sabotage us and stuff. I used to really enjoy that game. And that's another one that, like, playing with the same people over and over again, people start to tell each other's tells and pick on people and stuff, and it started to not be as fun, you know? I started to not enjoy it as much. So it's not Battlestar Galactica anymore. Still like the game.
Mm-hmm.
Love the show still. I've now made it Agricola.
Okay.
Which was my number
Interesting.
1 previously.
Oh, yes. Agricola has always been so hard for me. I can't wrap my head around
There is
it.
something about worker placement, kind of like limited resource management kind of games.
Yeah.
That for some reason there is like a itch that it scratches for me that I love. I'm like, oh man, yes, please and thank you. Yeah, I love Agricola. I think I always will love Agricola. I know there's Caverna too.
Yes.
That we played some of. That
We own Caverna.
Mhm.
We don't own Agricola.
we don't. I bought Caverna because we had played. My older brother owns Agricola.
Yeah.
And I bought Caverna because after reading about it online, it's basically Agricola with just a few extra parts.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a lot of fun. It's a little different. Instead of being like little farmer peasants, trying to make the best for your homestead, you're dwarves trying to make the best for your little dwarf clan.
Mm-hmm.
But it plays the same,
Okay.
And so, but Agricola was the first one. And
Okay.
it has so much to it, and it's crazy, and I love it. My old number 2 was Castles of Burgundy.
Yes.
Such a fun game. A little, I don't even want to call it like a tableau builder, dice taking kind of game.
Kinda. Yeah. The dice are more like workers.
Yeah.
It's more worker placement, but
worker
with
management
dice.
kind of deal.
Yeah.
Where you're trying to like fill out as much of your little kind of fiefdom as you could,
Yeah.
Still really love that game. That was one of the ones we found at PAX, that we bought it and we didn't read the rules and we played it wrong, and it was a good time.
Did we buy it there?
No, we didn't buy it there. That's where we first found it. We checked it out at the library.
Yeah, we played it there.
And we played it there and we played around with it and we're like, that was so cool. And then we bought it, and when we read the rules after we bought it, it was like, we played that so wrong. But it's not Castles of Burgundy anymore. I've changed it to Gravwell,
Mm-hmm.
which
We
So
first played for
fun.
the podcast.
We played for the podcast, and we played that with Jacob and my brother. And that game, the concept of it is so great. Like, you're these 4 ships trying to escape the gravwell of the black hole.
Yeah.
We're all being pulled in, and we're trying to get out.
Mm-hmm.
But getting out, like, the board is a fun spiral, but everything that you do is based on other nearby gravity wells. So other nearby ships, and there's also obstacles. There's old ships that have, like, the crews have died in the past, and they're floating around in this grav well.
Yeah.
And so there's all kinds of, like, you, like, rubber band off of people, and, like, so, like, yeah, they might be ahead of you, but you play a card that's like, nope, I latch onto you and shoot past you.
Yeah, because it's all either push or pull, right?
Yeah.
Like, the mechanics is like, I'm either gonna, and you all have to choose your move and play them at the same time.
Yep.
And then you what is it called? Resolve.
Yes.
You resolve them based on last to first place, like
that's
in
right,
positioning. Yeah. And so it's like, well, you're also trying to think about what the person in front and behind of you is going to do. Because it's like, if the person behind me pulls me back, then I need to push off of them. And it's like this whole like mind game thing where you're trying to think about what the other players are doing, but also what's going to get you further.
Yeah. Because it's like, yeah, you might have set a push card, but what happens if they pull you and now you're behind them?
Yeah.
And you do a push.
You're going to push yourself
further
back.
into the...
Yeah.
You're going farther into the grav wheel, and it's like, no!
Mm-hmm.
That game was so fun. I want to play it more.
Yeah.
I think we'll definitely need to utilize some like tabletop simulator or board game arena or something.
Yeah. After moving across the country, we're definitely going to have to rely on those.
But like, and you know, get Jacob, get my niece in here. You know, like play some more of the games. Definitely want to get more into that. Like, but Gravwell was a lot of fun. We actually got a physical copy. I think we have like the 2nd edition of it now.
Yeah.
It was really good. Like that game, I think about it a lot. So I love that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was my number 2. My number 1 previously was Agricola. A lot of fun. But now I've made it Everdell.
Oh, Everdell was going to be my number 5. And I was like, I think it's cute. I like the gameplay. But I don't know if it's top 5 material for me.
Say, Everdell, I love it. I was talking about how, like, kind of colony management, worker placement.
Oh, that's fair. That's
vibes.
Fair.
It is 155% that. Basically, it's like set in this like fun little kind of animal fantasy world where like the animals are people, you know?
Yeah.
And like they're like a little like kind of medieval fantasy kingdom sort of deal. They all live under the Everdell tree.
Yeah.
You know, which is some like Fern Gully kind of vibes. It was great. And I love it. It's a worker placement. Everyone plays as like a different like animal tribe kind of thing. Like, oh, are you the mice or the cardinals or the whatevers, you know? And as it progresses, you're dealing with different seasons and stuff, you know, and you slowly get more workers to be able to place, and you place your workers to collect resources and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And then you use those resources to then build your tableau or whatever, where you're finding cards. It's like, okay, well, I want to build the watchtower, and you build that. And you only want to build things that are going to synergize with other things you've built. So it's kind of competitive for the resources, but then also for the building cards. That way you can get the right stuff. It has had way too many expansions.
I was going to say, when we talk about expansions and if they really make a game better, I think that's the one that I think about, because I know you kickstarted like the deluxe master.
Well, yeah, one of
them.
I think it was like New Leaf or something like that. Like I kickstarted that one, but then I did like the deluxe Kickstarter where like I got some of the older ones also, and I got the Everdell Mega Box where like you could fit all the expansions in one box.
Yeah.
And now that I have it,
We've
I
never
don't
played them.
think I will ever put them in that box. Because I also need to like read through, because it's one of those things where like some of the expansions seem like they are new games.
Okay.
But some of them seem like they just add other things.
I thought
to Everdell.
The main things with the expansions were that they just gave you additional options of placing your workers.
Yeah.
It was my understanding.
Yeah,
but
so
I haven't.
It's one of
looked
those
into
things
this.
where like we have the Everdell Collector's Edition, you know, like that came with like the nice premium components and
Oh,
stuff.
they're so cute. Yeah, the little berries.
And like I love that. I think I would play that one all the time.
Yeah,
The expansions, I don't know. They're cute. They're cool. But it's one of those things where I have some kind of beef with expansions nowadays where like I don't know if they really add, if there's really a value add.
yeah. I think that's how I kind of felt about Seven Wonders Duel.
Yes, because I got the 2 expansions for it.
I don't know if the expansions added enough to make it worth it, or if it just overcomplicated the game.
Yeah, like I think Seven Wonders Duel is a fantastic game. I know you and me have played it quite a bit. I played it a bunch with Jacob.
Yeah.
It's just a nice kind of like I really enjoyed the vibe of Seven Wonders.
Yeah.
But it did that and made it streamlined it playing it 2-person.
Yeah.
And now it seems like everyone's doing a duel, a 2-person.
I'm not mad at that though, because a lot of games will say 2 to 4 players, or 2 to 5, or 2 to 6.
But it's really good with 3 to 5.
But it's better if it's not just 2.
Yeah.
And so I really appreciate them coming out with games that are good for 2 players.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, like if you're going to play a game, the easiest way to play it is with 2 people.
Yeah.
You only need one other person to commit to it versus trying to get a group together, which based on like D&D nights is hard to do.
Yeah.
There's always something going on.
Everyone's got something, you know, yeah, I completely agree. And it's like, I'm not mad about everyone putting out these dual versions. I'm excited for us to get them.
Yeah.
And try to, like you said, things that we can play together. It's just you and me.
Yeah, because there's an Everdell Duo now.
There is. We just got it. Just it came in the mail like...
Oh, yeah, you kickstarted that one, too.
It came in the mail a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Because I saw that and was like, well, it's Everdell. I have to. I have to.
Yeah.
I must.
Yeah, because there's an Azul Duo, which I'd be interested in.
There's a lot of duos coming out now.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to try those out. And definitely looking forward to, you know, kind of what's coming up. So, yeah. So those are our top 5s, each of ours. I am excited to be getting back into this, back into the podcast. You know, I think it's going to be really good. I think here to start out, we're going to be doing this on sort of a monthly cadence right now.
Yeah.
Right.
That way we have enough time to actually play through the games that we want to play. And if it's a board game, we have multiple chances to play it because we never play it correctly the first time.
Yeah.
Because we never fully read the rules.
Yeah, and I think at some point I would also like to maybe sit down and try to like actually put together an official review. You know? Like we talk about all these games. Maybe I want to actually write a review and go post it on Steam, you know, or something like that.
Oh,
like,
interesting.
I never actually go and, you know, if I feel overwhelmingly positive about it, I don't go and put it there, you know?
Yeah.
Which we should.
Yeah.
We should go and do reviews. You know, if we're going to talk about them.
I think we should at least, like, we spent yesterday updating our Board Game Geek library with all the games that we own.
Yeah.
And there are so many that we have now that we've never played.
Yeah.
And so I think just getting back to playing games again, because it's so like hit or miss if we're like, oh, let's play a board game. It's like, well, which one? And we usually play one that we've played before.
Yeah.
And I'm glad, what's the app that we were
I think
using?
it's BG Stats. It's like Board Game Stats, which really fantastic app. I think it's a paid version now. But it was really good. And like now it has that function, I think you were going to mention it, that it lets you basically say, what am I playing? And it'll pick out of the list.
Yes, it lets you randomize. And the good thing too about it though is that you can filter it based on, I want to look at only 2-player games.
Yeah.
And then you can hit the randomize and it'll randomize a game for you to play.
Yeah.
Or you can say, I want to look at only games I've never played before.
And it'll look for
and it'll that I own, and then it'll randomize and say, here's a game.
Yeah.
Play this game. And
yeah,
it's
that's
like,
what we were doing. We're adding all of our stuff into that, right?
Yeah.
And so
I'm so excited because, like I said, we got all of our Kickstarters that we've backed in
so
the past.
many.
There's so many that I want to play that we just never got around to. Life got crazy.
Yeah.
We moved, and then when we were unpacking all of our board games, I was like, there are so many here that we've never played.
Yeah.
And that's sad.
Yeah, there are some that we never even took the plastic wrap off the box.
Yeah.
And it, like you said, it feels bad. And I think that's part of the impetus to get back to this. Like that, and we did enjoy talking about them. And, you know, it's going to be a lot of fun.
It'll be fun. I'm excited to play more games. Me
too. So, yeah. So I guess that'll wrap it up for our the newest episode of the Unearthing Games podcast. Thank you for listening. Hope you had a good time. But yeah, if there's what kind of games do you think we should play next? Feel free to leave us a comment on the YouTube channel or hit us up on Instagram or on our website. All right, and I guess that'll do it for now. And see you guys next time.
Bye.